So we'll sing now Maha Mantra, which is this mantra written here. If any of you don't know this mantra, we'll sing. I will be singing and everybody will repeat. We can practice one time before we start. Repeat after me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
So now we'll honor our Gurudev by clapping while he received garland. So once the garland is on his neck, we should all clap. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Rama Ramo Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Rama Ramo Hare 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 Krishna Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So mind-blowing kirtan. Very nice. Some cool bhajan and some cool Mahamantra. Hare
Wow.
Let me touch your feet.
Time limit.
Chakshurmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachamam pamulagate grinjat kripatamaham bande Shri Gurundinatarinam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone this beautiful evening together with Srila Bhaktivedanta Srila Goswami Maharaj, great saint that has come from India. He visits Perth every year actually for the last 25 years about. He's come to Perth annually, and but only for like 4 or 5 days per year. So we're very fortunate tonight to be in his presence. Today he's going to tell us more about yoga, the deep meaning of yoga. All of you who are here practice yoga, right? You know, but do you know the meaning of yoga? Janet, remember yoga?
Union together?
Union together, yes, that's great. Yoga means, or yog, in Sanskrit the word is yog. Say yoga in English, means actually exactly the union. So when you unite, you need two things to put together, right? Not only one. So what is this? The union of God and the soul. Atma and Paramatma, that's yoga. So nowadays, yoga is very known all over the world, just like as a generally like a exercise, right? Something which is good for your body, to give you mindfulness, for your mind as well, to calm you down. But ultimately, yoga is also, of course, good for the body and mind, but it's actually for our soul, specifically for the soul, and also for the body and mind. So there are many kinds of yoga. How to connect the soul and the super soul, God and with us. How to connect. So in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the ancient scripture that was directly spoken by God himself when he came on the earth planet 5,000 years ago. God, Krishna, he told about many kinds of yogas, many kinds of processes to connect with him. So there are 18 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. Each chapter is one kind of yoga. And also, Patanjali Rishi is very famous describing the Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 processes of yoga. But today specifically we're going to talk about one specific kind of yoga, which is called Bhakti Yoga. So I don't know if you heard of this kind of yoga before. Bhakti Yoga is a specific kind of yoga, which in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, what the first line? Shadavam, Krishna says, from all the yogis, all kinds of yoga, Madgatera Atmatmana, Shadavam Bhajate Yomam, Samekta Yuktamo Mata. He says, from all kinds of yogis, the one who practices Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. That one, Shadavam Bhajate Yomam, Same Yuktamo Maha. Yoginam Api Sarvesham, Madgatena Antaratmana. Shadavam Bhajate Yomam, Same Yuktamo Mata. God himself said, from all the people who practice yoga, this path of connection between soul and God, the type of yogi that is most dear to me is the type of yogi that will connect with me through love. Because we can connect in many ways, right? We can connect in different ways, but the most dear to God is when we connect with him through love. So Bhakti Yoga is called the yoga of love, which is so beautiful, right? How to connect with God through love. Because God is the embodiment of love. Love is God, God is love, right? So the best way to connect through him is through love. And the nature of the soul is also to love. That's why all of us were searching for love. We want to feel loved, we want to love, because only love can really bring us happiness. So today is such a special night. We're going to hear more about this transcendental philosophy, about how to attain this divine love of our soul that will and then connect forever with God. Jai Sri Gurudeva ki Jai. Vancha Kaptar Vishak Kripa Singh Bevacha Pranam Pavaniti Vishnu.
Omagdana Janana Janana Shalakya Chakshuranmilitanena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaura Chandra Radhika Tadle Krishna Krishna Bhaktai Tad Bhaktai Namo Nama Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Pradai Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tavishe Namahe He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatapati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Tanmanami Haripriya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Everyone speak. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I would like to pay my humble obeisances to my beloved spiritual master, Nitya Lila Pravista Home Vishnu Pada Sutrasata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and then after my Koti Dandavat Pranam to my beloved Nitya Lila Pravista Home Vishnu Pada Sutrasata Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my humble and deepest obeisances to our beloved Sripad Bhakti Vedanta Vana Goswami Maharaj, and all the guests, all the brothers and sisters who are present here. Please accept my humble obeisances and Hare Krishna to everyone. We are all very fortunate to be gathered here to hear about Bhakti Yoga from our beloved spiritual master. Like Taruni Gopidasi said, that we have to connect. What is yoga? Yoga is a connection between our soul and Paramatma. Paramatma means our Lord. So in this Kali Yuga, this is known as a Kali Yuga. If we look at this age of coral, it's the age of coral, we see there's so much coral happening, politics, war. We can see around the world now how world is changing so much. Yes, we cannot trust anyone now. People are dishonest. There's a cheating potency. There's just so much war going on. There's just no love. Right? So how can we attain this Bhakti Yoga in this age of coral? When you put two people together here, there's always quarrel. Quarrel means we cannot tolerate with each other, or we are not humble. Everybody is very selfish. The nature of the Kali Yuga now is selfish. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came 500 years ago, and he is so compassionate, and so magnificent. He was thinking, how am I going to deliver all these living entities in this age of coral? And the only way to be delivered is by Harinam. This is Bhakti Yoga, Harinam. And the Harinam is Hare Krishna, everybody chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In order to chant this Harinam, we don't need any qualification. All we need is love. Love. So this is a prayer. We are praying to the Lord, saying, hey Lord, hey God, hey, we've come in this material world now. Please save us, save our soul, take us back to Godhead, who we belong to, so we can be connected with our beloved God. Right? Like everybody is searching for love. What will give us happiness? Is there happiness here? If there is happiness, it's very temporary. But we are all wanting happiness. We are working so hard to get happiness. But happiness, how can happiness be? Our mental state has to be stayed in happiness, our mental state. Then we want love from everyone. Now we can see there is no love in this world. It's such a selfish love. Somebody will love you today, and then after a month, oh sorry, I don't love you anymore. So the love is selfishness. I love you, then you love me. There is an exchange, right? It's not selfless love. And also our mental state. Our mental state is so restless. If we close our eyes, then we can see our mind is going around the world. Right? We will think about that person, oh, what I have to do today. The life is so busy. From early morning to the evening, we are so occupied. Our mind is so occupied. And when we do this Maha Mantra, actually even scientifically, what it does to our mind is it completely calms it down. It calms the breathing rates, it calms the blood pressure, it calms our heartbeat. So even physically, it completely calms us down. This Maha Mantra is that powerful. Why is it powerful? Because it's transcendental sound. This is not ordinary sound. Externally, it may seem like, oh, it's ordinary sound. But no, this message, this Maha Mantra is coming from the Lord via His spiritual masters. Yeah? So this, in order to chant this Maha Mantra with so much love and affection, we need a spiritual master. Just like we need to go to a university in order to become a doctor. Right? We cannot sit at home and read the books and become a doctor and say, oh, now I'm a doctor, so I can practice doctorship. No. So even for our soul, we need, this is a soul, this is a nourishment for the soul, food for soul. We do so much for our body. We feed the right things, we go for exercise, we go to gym. So we are taking care of our body so much. But we fail to take care of our soul. How are we going to take care of our soul is through this Maha Mantra. Yes? Through Maha Mantra. And we need a spiritual guidance for it. For any other things we want to learn, we need a guidance. We need a guru. So even for our spiritual advancement, in order to know who we are, has anybody here asked a question? Who are we? Why are we here? And what is our purpose? And where we are going to go? As soon as we ask those questions in our heart, then we can say we've really woken up. Otherwise, we are sleeping in this material world. Right? When we ask this question, who am I? Am I this body? Because the body will die. The body is getting older. The body is changing. And when we die, what happens? The body lives here. We leave the body here. When somebody is dead, we say, okay, the body is dead, the body is left here. Why do we say the body is dead? Because the soul has left the body. So without the soul, the body is useless. Right? But we take so much care of this body, but we forget to take care of our soul. And the only nourishment in this Kali Yuga, in this age of coral, we can nourish our soul is by Maha Mantra. And we have to do this Maha Mantra under the guidance of a spiritual master. So we are all very fortunate to have our beloved spiritual master who's been traveling around the world preaching this God consciousness. And when we have God consciousness, when our soul is happy, then we will all be happy. We will be really happy. Because when we leave this body, is anyone going to come with you? No. I'll tell you a story about a king. One king, he had 4 queens. Right? With first queen, she was very beautiful. So the king loved her so much. She used to buy the best ornaments for her, best sari for her, best everything. And he used to even take her out and show everyone, look, this is my queen. I love this queen so much. And then he had another queen. Also the other queen, he used to love her so much as well. And he used to show it out to the people and say, look, this is my second queen. I love her as well so much. And then the third queen. The third queen, he used to share his inner heart concerns and his heart. He used to share his heart with the third queen. And the fourth queen, he never bothered with her. And she, if you look at her, he just never even called her. He never gave any love to the fourth queen, never bought any nice ornaments or nice saris for her. And if you look at the fourth queen was very thin, very lean, very thin, and her saris were also torn, right? So this king has got 4 queens. So similarly, we also have these 4 queens. Which is the first queen? Where he used to love her so much and take her out, dress her up nicely, buy ornaments for her, and show everyone, yes, first queen is the body, right? We do so much for our body, don't we? We put nice ornaments, we want to look nice, we want to look beautiful, and we want to show it out to people and say, look how beautiful I am. So that is the first queen. So that is, we also have that 4 queens. And the second queen, he used to share his inner heart most concerns. You know, he used to share his heart with his second queen. And who is that? That is our friends and relatives, right? So one day this king got really sick. He was really about to leave his body. So he called all these 4 queens and he said, hey, I am going to leave this body now. He called the first queen who used to love so much and he said, are you going to come with me? So she said, no, Rajan, no, king, I cannot come with you. I will have to be here. I cannot come with you when you die. So that queen is the body. Is the body going to come with us? No, the body is going to stay here. And we do so much for our body, but the body is going to stay here. Then he asked the second queen, are you going to come with me? So the second queen said, no, I'm afraid I will also not come with you. Because today I'm yours, but tomorrow I will become somebody else's. So today I'm yours and tomorrow I will become somebody else's. So what is that? Second queen is our wealth. Our wealth. Is our wealth going to go with us? No. All the property, is it going to go with us? No. Is our bank account going to go with us? No. Today it belongs to me, but when I die, that account will become somebody else's. That property will become somebody else's. Right? The money will become somebody else's. So again, that wealth is not also going to go with us. Then he asks the third queen, and says, third queen, are you going to come with me? So the third queen says, no, I can only come to the cemetery, to the funeral place. And that is our relatives, because he shared his heart with our relatives and our friends. They are also not going to come with us when we die. Because they will only come up to the funeral and say some good words, but then again, they are not going to come with us. Then the fourth queen, he never ever used to speak to the fourth queen, but the fourth queen said, hey Rajan, hey king, I will come with you. And then the king had tears in his eyes, and he said, this fourth queen, I've never ever spoken to her, I've never even looked at her, I've never given any love to her, and she's willing to come with me. So what is this fourth queen is? Our soul, who we've never looked after. We don't take care of our soul, but we will be happy only when the soul is happy. So when we do bhakti yoga, that we can take with us to our next life. Bhakti yoga, that is the nourishment for the soul. So I request everyone, the only way to nourish our soul is by this simple Maha Mantra. This syllable that's been given is connection with the God. It says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, the meaning of this Krishna mantra is that, hey Krishna, hey Radhe, hey Krishna, hey Lord, due to my bad karmas, I have fallen in this material world. How am I material world? Please, hey Lord, give me some mercy and give me some seva at your lotus feet, and please keep me aboard with you and connected with you. Right? So when our Paramatma that's in our heart. We all have, in our soul, we have Paramatma and Atma. So when that Atma, Paramatma is our witness, the Lord. He is just watching us, what we are doing. It's like a CCTV camera. It's observing. It's everything what we are doing. But Atma is us. So we are really Atma. We are eternal Atma. We are here today. We will be here tomorrow, and we will be here eternally. So that's Atma. The body will remain here. So our job, our main job is in this human life is to nourish the Atma, nourish the soul. Then we will be happy, and we'll get this happiness not only in this material world but eternally, where we'll be able to connect with the Lord and serve Him eternally. So my request is that Srila Bhaktivedanta Van Goswami Maharaj, our spiritual master, who have come to Perth. So we are very, very fortunate to have his darshan. So I request everyone to take this opportunity to take this Maha Mantra from his lotus mouth. When we take this Maha Mantra, when it comes out for a spiritual master, now what is a spiritual master? What you can say? Okay, spiritual master is directly connected to the Lord. So this Maha Mantra is coming from the Lord through his representatives, that is our spiritual guru. And that mercy is directly coming from the Lord. So don't think that this mantra is of this material world. No, it's a transcendental sound. It's a transcendental sound that's coming from the spiritual world. Through the representative, which is Guru, the spiritual master. And when we take this Harinam Maha Mantra from his lotus mouth and then chant, then makes a huge difference to our soul. It purifies our soul, yes, and all the sins, pap, our heart. If you look at our heart, we have so much selfishness in there. There's so much anger. There's so much desires, so much ichha, so much desires, right? So we need to clean our heart. And so this Maha Mantra is a cleansing of our heart. Then that mirror, if we look at our face in the mirror and there is so much dust on the mirror, then we cannot see our face, who we are. Because the dust of when this Maha Mantra, especially it's been taken from the lotus mouth of a spiritual master, then this mirror of our heart is cleared. It's like cleaned. And then we will be able to say, hey, who am I really? Because our soul is very beautiful. We are all very beautiful and we are very pure. Then we will be able to realize. Then there will be no me, mine. No, we will not be discriminating anyone. That I'm from India or I'm from Australia, I'm from England, or right? We are all eternal soul. We are the children of the Lord. And then we can go back to our home, which is back to Godhead. Yes. So I pray so that you join this Maha Mantra, and if you like to take this Maha Mantra from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master and progress, this will be the start. Come into the entrance, get the entrance into the school of Maha Mantra Harinam, and that is nourishing our soul. You can of course look after the body, we have to look after the body as well, but we also have to at the same time nourish our soul, which is Atma. And the only way to nourish our Atma is through this Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. For the rest of the program, we attentively listen to the lecture from our spiritual master. So open your ears, open your eyes. So this transcendental sounds goes into our heart through our ears and purifies our heart. Hare Krishna.